Good morning. Welcome to the Bitter Knitters podcast. It is Wednesday, September 13th, 2017. My name is Jacqueline. I'm joined by Arthur.
Hey.
And Ryan.
Excuse me. Hi.
We are the Bitter Knitters. We have lots to talk about this morning, but I wanted to just kind of quickly do a couple of updates from stories we talked about on Monday before we get into the meat of things. Hurricane Irma has now, as far as I know, as of last night, had killed 16 people in Florida. They've left over 4 million people without power, and that could take months to come back in some places.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Quote unquote civilized world, you know? And bless you, Ryan. And we're talking about, I mean, these people need their air conditioning. I mean, if you're old and you're sitting in your wasted house that's nothing left and you don't even have air conditioning, oh my gosh. Oh, it's crazy. 38 people in the Caribbean were killed. A lot of places there will be months and months to restore. If you're looking for a cheap vacation to the Dominican or the Cuba, you better check and see what's happening before you start planning that. But flights are back to Florida today. I think Disney is open already, so business as usual.
You'd think they'd have this stuff like a well-oiled machine by now.
Yeah.
Like they would just know how to, not like instantly, but fairly quickly get all the power restored and shit.
Yeah.
This
well,
isn't new.
They sent a whole bunch of people from Hydro One here in Ontario down there to help.
Yeah,
my husband was not one of them. He's not a lineman, so he doesn't get to do that. But good luck to them. Our friend Justin, he didn't even lose power, and he had a safe recovery. So good for him, I guess. He got a couple days off of work.
Yeah, that's good.
And apparently they're saying that this Hurricane Jose that they thought they were out of the woods with may and come into Florida for another bite. So best of luck to them. And hurricane season, like we said before, is not done until November 30th. So good luck. Another story that came out yesterday that kind of had me scratching my head was we were talking about the legalized marijuana.
Yeah.
July 18th or 2018 that's coming. A whole bunch of law enforcement agencies across Canada were somehow saying that they weren't going to be ready for that to enforce the laws as of July 2018, which doesn't make sense to me because it's already decriminalized. I mean, other than trying to make sure you have a plan for impaired driving, I guess, what do they need to? It's legal. You don't need to enforce anything other than, I guess, I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, that's a confusing one.
But Bill Blair, he's the member of parliament that is in charge of this, thing. He says he wants it to be even faster. If he could do it, he'd do it faster.
Yeah.
He wants it done as quickly as possible, and he thinks it should be smooth and there shouldn't be any problems.
Well, with the majority of Canadians smoking pot already, I mean, like, really, what's the hold up with it?
What's the hold up? Exactly. So, these people better not screw around with this. Everybody wants to have their legalized weed for the Canada Day long weekend next year. Yeah. Come on. Come on. We'll have a brownie party at my house. Your experience with making these things, Arthur.
Yeah, I'll whip up some edibles.
Make some like fine dining foods, and we'll all just be baked and like.
See, I want to learn how to do that. You can apparently make cooking oil, like cannabis cooking oil. I've seen people sell it.
Oh, really?
Right. Assuming you're basically just gonna infuse it, like you just leave the cannabis in it or something, right?
Well, you don't want to just have like say you make brownies. You don't want just like chunks of weed in there. It would taste weird, right?
It's actually a huge process. Like. It's a fairly decent process of doing it. The oil, like to make cooking oil, I mean, I'd imagine you need some like kind of cold press or some shit. Like I haven't really looked into it because I can only imagine the process of having to do that. But I mean, could you imagine having like fried dope onions with your steak?
You said fried onions, and it made me think of onion rings, and that'd be awesome too.
But yeah, exactly. You can deep fry anything.
Your fish batter,
right? Everything.
Funnel cake.
Everything could get you high. So like you're clearing the munchies and getting the munchies at the same time.
People, do not eat, smoke, drink, do any kinds of drugs or alcohol and drive or operate heavy machinery. Please be careful.
Yeah. Use your fucking
okay,
brain.
Make sure you get to stay home and don't go to work, because you'll probably lose your job if you go to work stoned. Yeah. Unless you're at,
Oh, you're telling me to stay at home and not go to work today? Okay.
Yeah, whatever, Ryan. I'll call you out sick.
There's a bomb
Ryan can't
scare.
come to work. He has lady problems.
His lady problems.
I am a lady.
It's time of the month. Okay, so do you want to get on to what you want to talk about before it gets too late, Ryan?
Yeah, let's. It's 9:05. It's 9:05. And do you know where your children are?
Yeah.
So one of the topics that I wanted to talk about was depression and mental illness. One of the things that kind of bothers me, especially like I've been reading a lot of, documentaries, reading a lot of articles. A lot of people tend to think that, like some of these shooters, like the one at Pulse or the Columbine kids, the Verdun, just major things all over the world. It's not just in the United States. Everybody keeps saying, it's because these people are mentally ill.
We lost you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Of course we lost him. Oh, there you are. He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get that. I think in the case, especially like say like the Columbine kids, they seem like they just want to really get their kicks off and become famous.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Pulse nightclub, I think he was hiding his homosexualness, whatever the word would be, homosexuality.
Homosexuality, yeah.
He's hiding that, and I guess it got to be too much, and he used his religion as an excuse to kill innocent people. But I do think in some cases there are some mentally ill people. I mean, like when you look at the cases, like we had that famous case where the guy was on the bus coming across Canada and he killed somebody, beheaded him, and ate his face.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my thing is, it's like there are people who, because I think sometimes when you think, oh God, mentally ill, are you going to like all of a sudden shoot me? And sometimes it's said in a joking way, and it's kind of a little bit like, no. But
yeah,
there's this negative connotation now. Mental illness could really be anything. Tourette's syndrome is mental illness. It's a mental disorder. Autism is, but do you see these kids going out and fucking shooting everybody? Not everybody does it. It's kind of like what we talk about when we speak about Islam. Not everybody who's of the faith of Islam or Muslim shoots everybody and believes in jihad.
No,
it's these small percentages. Yeah, and so for me, sometimes I kind of think about it, and I'm like, well, I suffer from clinical depression and anxiety and OCD and all these things. I'm just crazy, but I don't have the urge to go out with a gun and shoot people or stab somebody.
That's good. I mean, you're right. Not everybody with a mental illness is homicidal or suicidal.
Yes. Or suicidal. Exactly.
But there are some people. This is why I think it's good in Canada. We have a movement. It's called, Bell Let's Talk. Bell's the company that sponsors it. Bell Let's Talk Day. And it's basically about normalizing and removing the stigma for people to talk about their mental illness and not be worried about being, oh, you're crazy,
Well, but, because I can only really speak for certain cultures. Like, for example, in the Asian community, they don't believe in mental illness. There's not a lot of research behind mental illnesses, right? A lot of Filipinos tend to think depression, that's just in your head. It's, just think good thoughts, think positive. A lot of people think.
Yeah.
In the Philippines. And they don't realize it's not just think positive. When you suffer from something like a mental illness, you really do need to somewhat seek counseling. To what extent, I don't know. I'm not a therapist or a social worker. But to some extent, you have to, and sometimes you even have to take medication for it, right?
Yeah, in some cases you do need it.
And it wasn't until 2010 that postpartum depression in the Philippines was believed to be a real thing. Yeah? A real thing. People used to think, oh God, they just called it the baby blues, right?
Yeah.
They called it the baby blues. they didn't think it was a real thing. It was just like, oh, you just gave birth. Okay, you'll get through it. They didn't realize that there's a real thing about
real hormonal imbalance that causes that to happen.
Because you went from an extreme high to all of a sudden an extreme low in a matter of hours after giving birth, right? So your body's going all out of whack. But this isn't just, and I feel like this is all over the place, and a lot of people are undereducated and miseducated about what they think.
Well, and families don't like to talk about it. I mean, look, my husband's family has a lot of issues, mental health issues in their family. And when something happens, nobody in the family wants to talk about it. They want to keep it a secret, like it's something shameful. And it's like, if you're not making people aware, then the same things are going to happen. Dangerous things could happen, I talk all the time to my kids about mental illness, and sadly already my 2 kids have had short bouts of depression, which really makes me upset, and they didn't come to me until afterward, even though I've been talking to them about it since they were little kids. So no matter how educated you can make your kids and aware that it's happening, you still can't force them to tell you when the time comes. It really actually really upset me that they didn't. I'm like, why wouldn't you come to me? I could have gotten you help. We could have saw somebody. They didn't want to. I don't know why.
It's embarrassing. Now, I suffer from depression myself. I actually just recently came out of a very, very low, like probably one of the worst ones I've had in a long time. And my issue's always been, whenever I express my feelings, like whenever I express the fact that I'm low to somebody, it's, it's like Ryan was saying, like, oh, well, just think happy thoughts.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help me. Or the feeling of you being watched, that now you're a burden. That now you're on someone's suicide watch.
Do?
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that doesn't help the case. Now, like, talking about it obviously is a great thing. It's the only thing that's really helped me. Is talking about it, but I cannot talk to people that don't know it. I can't talk to somebody that has never experienced it.
Yes.
Because it doesn't help, because they always come back with these cliche, oh, well, think of the people that you love. Like, you don't think I'm doing that? It's a chemical imbalance. Like, nothing
That's my favorite.
Triggered me. Like, I didn't wake up and want to kill myself because I had a bad thought. It's a fucking chemical imbalance in my brain.
And most people, they don't, a lot of people, when you are prescribed medicine, when I was young, I was 15, I started medication. I was like, what the hell? It's taking so long for the results to show. Right? And it takes a while. It's so dangerous, because then, let's say you've been on the medication for a year, which happened to me, and I stopped, and oh my God, if you thought a roller coaster ride, before the medication was there, this was like times 10. Like, you're just going crazy. And a lot of these medicines, or a lot of these prescribed medicines, they have really big side effects. I know somebody who I won't name, who was on it, who couldn't get hard, sexually. Couldn't do it. I know a woman who murdered her couch, literally, like, with a knife, murdered her couch, because the medicine just made her go even crazier. Because
it's the same thing like we're talking about. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm better now, I don't need the medicine, and then you stop the medicine, and you just go into a horrible, manic cycle.
I watched that happen with a friend of mine a few years back who was a schizophrenic, who thought that the meds had worked, they had cured him, and he had stopped taking his meds, and he went on a even bigger psychotic break, and it was absolutely horrifying to watch.
And it's scary. It's very scary.
We have someone we love that hasn't taken their medicine since like 2008, 2009.
Ooh, it's almost a decade.
Yeah, and they should, I don't want to say he or she, they should definitely be on it. They're schizophrenic for sure. And sometimes they raise danger signals to me. And now I've told Scott that this person can't come to the house unless everybody in the house is sober. No one can drink.
Well, the reason...
Because I was afraid of that person. And that makes me really sad, because I love this person very much.
The reason why I'm talking about this is a very close friend of mine. Again, I'm not going to reveal this person's gender like you did. Recently had a very big bout with depression and I think trauma. Really, really bad trauma. And went on a huge binge of Tina, as they call it in the gay community, crystal meth.
Yeah.
And walked around for 5 hours barefoot and literally went into somebody building and started screaming, insidious things at the lobby. And of course, freaked people out. And now that person is in the psych ward. And I received a phone call from them last night. And we were talking. And I said, but why? And their response was, I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And it made me go, oh my God, but that's what I was just saying a few months back, or before the podcast, before anything, because I didn't know how to respond. There comes a time, I mean, granted, I don't do drugs. I was going to say I've never done drugs. I don't do drugs, right?
Yeah.
Because, cigarettes are considered a drug, really, a controlled substance. But I don't do drugs, besides cigarettes. And it made me go, I wonder what people's responses were to me when they heard my psychotic break. You know what I mean? Like, because I felt like, or maybe I really did go through a mental breakdown of just, oh my God, what, you know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do now? What's happening now? And that person said to me, and I thought the phone call was, oh, can you please give me some money? Because they're in the psych ward. They were like, I just want food. And it started to get very emotional. I got very teary-eyed. I said, I did not expect for us to be at this age, 19, because, forever 19, for you to give me a call about, I'm hungry, I need food. Maybe if the phone call was, hey, I'm a little short on rent, can I borrow $100? Not a problem. But food.
Yeah, but it's people are struggling still. And like you said, that person was doing drugs. They probably have no money left for food. But it's sad. A lot of mentally ill people, whether it's depression or manic depression or schizophrenia, they do try to self-medicate. We were talking about this the other day. Yes. They try to self-medicate and they use, whether it's alcohol, weed, or harder drugs. And it makes it way worse.
Oh, yeah.
It makes all those psychotic breaks 10 times worse than 10 times worse if not.
But the craziest part is, even those, I don't know if you've ever suffered from that ever before, Jacqueline, but I'm sure Arthur can relate to this. Even those
touch wood, I've never have, luckily. I don't know why.
But even those who have suffered through this, like sometimes when you hear other people's stories, you're like, whoa, that's a little out there. Because I've gone and I've heard some people's stories and I'm like, whoa, like, how did you get to that point of, I call it the point of no return.
Yeah.
Of you just did something absolutely heinously crazy that I can't even fathom the thought that you would do that. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I understand self-medicating. I'm guilty of this. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I got a migraine. Take an aspirin. Oh my God, I have, leg pain. Taking a leave. Oh my God, I need a Tylenol just because I feel like it's going to make me feel better. You know what I mean? Because you're anxious. I mean, I suffer from anxiety. Like I said, I'm a crazy person. But, and by the way, don't call people crazy people. Like, if they suffer from this, I'm okay with it because I know I'm crazy, but other people may not feel like the same.
Yeah, no, even in my husband doesn't like to be called crazy because, he has a lot of mentally ill people in his family.
But the thing is, what people don't realize, there is an extent where I feel like, why did you jump off the edge, like with the drugs? I have a family member, my uncle, I'm not going to mention his name, who, really went all the way out on the drugs. It was, again, crystal meth. And would say, no, but some people, they just use it because they need to escape. The moment you start to justify it like that, it starts to make you go, wait, but you're not in the right mind of thinking. You know what I mean? That's not okay.
You can't.
Go ahead.
Well, it's just, when you watch people have these breaks, right?
Yeah.
You can't. We know that they shouldn't be doing this. We can say, why would you do that? But they can't really say why because you're not in control. If you were in control, you would be like, well, that's bad. I would never do that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't jump out a window. I wouldn't chase someone around the neighborhood with a knife. Normal, healthy brains, you wouldn't do that. But once you're out of control, there's no reason why. You know what I mean? It's just it is what it is.
But that's why I say even those who've suffered through it sometimes have these misconceptions about, oh my God, but I've never been like that. I've had the blues before. You know what I mean? You sometimes think to yourself, but how can someone be so off the edge? And the truth is, and this is going to sound so cliche of me to say, but sitting down and asking someone what's really going on makes a huge difference to someone's daily life. Like maybe they'll open up and tell you, oh my God, this is really what's going on with me right now. And it makes a huge difference. But sometimes even like people say, call the suicide hotline. The suicide hotline is there for you to use. You know what I mean? Those people have a time limit to speak to you. I think it's like 15 minutes. And they're like, oh, well, listen, since you're not planning on killing yourself, I have to let you go. I'm saying this from experience.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Do they not provide you with like other places you can go or anything like that?
Some of them don't. I won't say which ones don't, which ones do not, because the rules could have changed already. But some of them, from my experiences, some of them do not provide you those things. But it does. It really helps. It sounds so crazy. People can spend and people do spend thousands of dollars talking to a therapist, because the main thing you can really do to help is to talk about it to a person who does not give you that judgment of, I think you're overthinking things. That's the typical line that I think we've all heard when it comes through that is, I'm right, Arthur? I think you're overthinking things. And it's like, what do you mean I'm overthinking? For example, for me, I'm not going to put out so much personal information, but what I went through, which you're both familiar with, I think you're overthinking it. And it's like, how can you overthink that?
Yeah. It always makes me mad when people say you shouldn't feel this way. Like, whether it's a death or a divorce or a breakup, or you lost a job or you went bankrupt, nobody can tell you how long your grief or you're getting over stages. I don't like when people say it's been a few months, get over it. Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, I do kind of want to send out a message I feel like I have a little bit of a backbone to say this about a friend who listens to the show, who tends to think that his friends are his clinical studies. I understand that you have a degree in social work. Good for you. Clap your hands. I'm happy for your achievements in life. However, not everybody's a textbook. No. Even you yourself have issues, and you have to admit that. You know what I mean?
Don't you think, though? I mean, as I'm getting older, don't you think that we're all kind of a little crazy?
Oh, of course, I agree. Like, that's why when you said the whole normal, healthy brain, I'm like, what is a healthy brain now? You know what I mean?
I don't think I'm depressed or manic or anything like that, but I do think I'm kind of a little bit off in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that go against what crazy is, though? Like, self-awareness kind of indicates that you're not.
That's what they say. You're always questioning whether you're crazy when you're not
sane or not.
And when you're crazy, you have no doubts that you're sane.
Exactly. The world around you is crazy, and you're the only one that's sane.
Yeah, but part of it is that it's also your perception of how it's going. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people who suffer from mental illness, and, again, misconceptions. A lot of people think, well, but they're functioning fine, because in their head, they're justifying, it's just a phase.
Yeah.
It's just a moment in time that I will get over. And let me tell you, you don't, like Queen Victoria, this is a long time ago, not to go into history too long, people didn't realize how Prince Albert's death really affected her. She was in bereavement at that point. Yeah. She was in all black. She wanted everybody to mourn. She was going through it, and some people thought, oh God, she's just a crazy bitch. She's not. You don't understand it until maybe you go through parts of it where you go, wait, hold on, now it clicks in my head. It's not just some, oh my God, I think you're taking this too far.
It's just a phase.
It's just a phase. That's the one thing that I hate to hear. It's like, it's just a phase. Well, if it was just a phase, why does it seem like it's coming in bouts each and every single time for me? Or why does it keep on happening? This phases, I believe a phase is just something that maybe happens once in a blue, maybe once every 500 years. Granted, we don't live to be 500, but you know, it's not just for me. I don't feel like it's just a phase. It's something that I think is really going on all the time. And for some of us, when it rains, I've said this before, it pours. Like for me, it seems like when something bad happens, it's not just one bad big thing, it's multiple big things all at once. And it's like, oh, okay, great. Now it's just, tell me now it's just a phase. You know what I mean? Like, let me hear another part of a bad news. And then, you know, to what point, because I find myself asking myself this question, to what point do I then say, okay, that's a little bit much now. I don't think it's a phase anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's enough.
Well, and how much do we have on TV? We have TV shows and movies showing us people that are, you know, mentally ill. I remember going to see 12 Monkeys in the theater, and my husband getting very angry when people were laughing at Brad Pitt's character because he's, you know, he was really mentally ill and he's in the mental asylum and he's going on, he's saying some things and people were laughing. And my husband was so mad because he's like, you know, that's like so-and-so in my family, and it really hurts, you know, it's really bothering me that they think that's funny. But I mean, especially in the 90s, people were not talking about mental illness. Very
mental illness, really, suicide was only really a big staple, not a big staple, but a big thing. And the stigma around it really started to die down when all of these LGBT folks started to commit suicide, and we had the Trevor hotline that was started, the suicide prevention hotlines that were put off. Before that, people were just saying, oh, God, he's just a little cuckoo. Or when someone dies and they committed suicide, what's the typical line we get to hear? Oh, I knew he was going to do that. You know, he's a little off the kilt.
Yeah, why didn't you do something to help them?
And it's like, I'm talking about this because I just went through a very big phase a very big ordeal in my life. And I'm still going through it. And the best thing that you can do as a family, and if you are listening, if you're a family member, if you are a friend, and you're an actual real friend, and not one of those, never mind. The best thing you can do,
fake friends. You can say fake friend.
The best thing that you can do is talk. Like, actually, really, if you really cared enough, you would talk, and stop turning it about you. Stop making it, oh, but you cut me off and you blah, 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 and you didn't call me and you didn't. I'm talking about this because this happened with my friend. Oh, but you know, when you were in a relationship, you blah, 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 blah. And it's like, how did this all of a sudden turn about you?
And, well, a lot of people make everything about them.
Exactly.
Well, I always thought it took two to tango. You want to come see me? Listen, hey, you know, you can take the public transport before you had a car to come see me too. I'm not going to be the only person getting in a car each and every time to go see you. A lot of people, that's what you call selfishness. And I saw this very beautiful meme on Facebook saying, how long would it take you to admit that you only love yourself? Right? And a lot of selfish people, they will find all of the excuses to put the blame on you. Right? And when you talk to somebody who's suffering through depression or a mental illness, they then find the blame and put all of the blame on themselves because you're finding out that it's all their fault. There's a lot of this is for people with parents, siblings, you know, and the etc. They don't realize what is your fault in this. Maybe take the time to sit down and talk, especially when you saw, you know, little, you know, I don't know, Keith on the couch laid out in a catatonic phase, staring at the ceiling, and all you did was, I'm going to watch TV. Can you get out of the couch? You know what I mean? Personal experience. I just changed it to Keith. But it's telling you something. And I'm a very vocal person. A lot of people tend to think I'm outspoken for saying these things. It's being honest. This is something that happens to a lot of people.
The more we talk and ask, you know, the more you might help somebody. Just let them talk. Even if you don't want to hear them anyway, just listen to them and let them say it.
Exactly.
And try to find other alternates. You know what I mean? I know here, if anybody's listening here in Scarborough, in Toronto, if you're under the age of, I think, 21, there's a drop-in center for people suffering from depression or mental illness, or they want to see a counselor. It's available to them. It's at Ellesmere and Markham Road, and it's completely free. And, you know, it's anonymous. You don't even have to tell your parents you're going there if you don't want to. So
Exactly. There is, for people who feel like there's no resources, there are a bunch of resources out there. For in New York, you can call 411. There are these, like you said, like these walk-in centers. They even have these, I think they call it respite homes, where you can stay there. Your medical, if you have medical insurance, it's covered. I think if you're not, there's something else that you can work out with them. But it's very helpful to, if it's helpful to you, do it.
yeah.
You know,
If you're
realize
not
that.
getting support by somebody in your life over it, don't go to that person.
Yes.
Like, forget it. Go to find someone who'll
And
talk to
cut
you.
them off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And cut them off.
because if someone's giving you a hard time because you're having a depression or you're having, you know, I don't know, but it's kind of like tough love too, to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course,
when someone's like completely manic and they're coming into your house and they're possibly threatening you, like, I have to think of my kids first, right?
Of course. Well, there's a limit to everything. Like for me, right? When I went through mine, it was, I would always tell myself, and again, I've been au naturel. I've not been on meds for a very long time. I don't have schizophrenia though. It's mental illnesses are all different.
There's so many different types.
Yeah, there's so many different types. I don't have I haven't taken.
And not
meds
everybody
in a
that
very
has
long
a
time.
depression needs medicine. That's the thing. Sometimes your depression makes you feel sad, but you know when it passes, you're still functioning. You know?
Exactly. Like for me, a lot of the times, like when I saw myself or when I felt myself getting so low, I was like, okay, get up, do something, and get out of the house. You know what I mean? Because if you stick yourself in a room and expect time to stop moving, your time will stop moving. But time kept going. You know, you have to somewhat, and this is, I guess, a tough love part. You have to get up and you have to do something about it. You can't stay stagnant, because if you do, then everything just becomes, it revolves around this one thing in your life, and you don't want it to be. You want to get better. Unless that is that you don't, then maybe you need a little bit more than just help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need something
that's
more.
a different topic altogether. But yeah, like for me, I mean, I don't want to beat this topic off too much. I don't want to seem like I'm being depressive. I wanted to kind of really put it out there, because, especially because, you know, a friend of mine is going through this right now, and there is hope. There is always some sort of hope or something that you can get through.
Yeah. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Talk to someone, right? Talk to someone. Try anyway.
Yes. No. Next topic.
We're good. Yeah, let's go on. That was kind of, it was sad, but sometimes you have to talk about sad and depressing things too.
Yes.
You know, to make it better. Here's another person that definitely has a mental illness, as far as I'm concerned. This guy was taking a supplement, an apricot kernel extract. He believed it would help him. I don't know what he thought it was going to do. Whatever.
Cure cancer, some shit like that.
Probably. The problem is that the seeds to apricots have cyanide in them. So he's been poisoning himself.
Yeah.
He's got all kinds of problems with his bladder. He's got cyanide in his blood. He could die. He's been taking it for 5 years. And now, even though the doctors told him it's cyanide, it's poisoning him, he could die, he's going to continue to take this freaking supplement.
Of course. Homeopaths are idiots.
You know what? I kind of feel like homeopaths are also kind of insane. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, okay, it's one thing if you want to take your ginkgo biloba, whatever the hell that shit's called. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't take any of these supplements.
Yeah,
you know?
Take your Bilbo Baggins.
But these people that think it's gonna cure their autism, it's gonna take away their cancer. I mean, if soursop could cure cancer, no one would have cancer.
Yeah,
I was gonna say. You know what I mean? Well, but it's like, okay, part of this, I think, and I'm not going to talk about this guy in a sense and say maybe he got it from Facebook. A lot of the Filipino people on Facebook believe everything that it's like, oh my God, new cure for cancer, you know, toenail clippings. And it's like, really? Or these people, I've slept with my phone under my pillow for God knows how long. You guys have done that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Blow up and kill you and burn your house down? Nope, didn't happen to me either.
Yeah.
My favorite.
It burned down my neighbor's house, that exact thing, so it can happen.
Okay, that's a little bit different, but it doesn't happen to all of us. There's also other, but people don't realize there's other factors. That's why medical stuff are meant to be left to the doctors, because it's all individualized. It's never grouped. You know what I mean? People think, oh my God. Go ahead, sorry.
I get told on a daily basis. Someone will come in, they're buying some vegetable at my work. Vegetable or fruit. Oh, that cures cancer, or that will, you'll lose weight from that. Someone says, I drink lemon juice every day and it helps you lose weight. And I'm thinking, well, you look the exact same way. Not that they're fat, but they look the exact same way.
Yeah.
I don't think it's helping you lose weight. I think it's just drinking some lemon
There's
juice.
some validity to homeopathic medicine. There absolutely is. Because, let's face it, we've been not curing, but making some stuff better for thousands of fucking years with just plants in the woods.
Yeah.
There is some basis to it.
Willow bark tea helps with pain.
Right.
Yeah.
But to completely negate fucking modern medical science, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just some kind of hate for the establishment kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to express, but it's like there's this overbearing sense of just like all these people want to do is keep me sick so they can make money and blah blah blah. But if I go,
how there's really the cure for cancer, but the government and the big.
Right.
Big pharma's hiding the cure for cancer.
Which again is kind of the mental illness. I mean, I personally believe if you're really into conspiracies, there's not something right in your head, but whatever. But yeah, it's just funny to me. Like, this guy got fucking sick, and he's like, no, I know better than doctors. I know I didn't go to fucking, med school for fucking however long and learn this shit. I just know better because some dickhead wrote an article on the internet.
Yes.
And now I know more than doctors.
I know. I love seeing that, the anti-vaxxers. I've done a lot of research. Yeah. But did you go to medical school? Because doing research on Google is not the same as going to medical school.
My favorite is, I know a couple of, I'm going to just say it. I don't care if she gets mad for me saying this. I wish she was in front of me. My mother, her cure for everything, water.
Yeah.
Drink water. Oh my God. Drink water. Take a shower.
No,
to what degree are you going to tell yourself you're a fucking moronic person for saying these crazy things?
Whenever my kids say they feel sick, I say, do you have to poo? And they say no. And I'm like, I'm like, you have to poo. Have
so
a
you're
nap,
part of the crazy crowd.
Well, that's the first thing. Because most times when my kids say they feel sick, it's nothing. Do I really have to take them to the doctor and sit in a doctor's office for 5 hours for nothing? No.
Until you realize their left phalange is broken, Jacqueline, and you don't even know it.
No, if it was a bone, that's different. Although Marley she hops around. I hurt my ankle. She hops around for like 5 days, and there's literally nothing wrong with her ankle.
But yeah, there's that case out in Alberta where the parents decide to. I think the kid had meningitis or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And they gave it homeopathic medicine, saying, "Oh no, we know better. Then the kid died.
Yeah. I read that on the thing. But again, we're going back. I mean, not to go back to the conversation we had prior, that long topic, but people are just they tend to think it's like a home remedies for certain things.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you have HIV, take garlic. Like what?
Yeah, garlic, really?
What's wrong with you?
Garlic
no,
is
no,
good for everything. That's what they use for the meningitis baby, right?
Something like that. But the thing that really irked me about that is the fact that I think they only got 3 years in prison.
Yeah.
Which to me is completely wrong. Like, that's murder. You murdered your kid.
You murdered your kid.
Right?
Yeah.
You thought that your Google doctorate was worth more than an actual PhD. And the funny thing is even the homeopathic fucking witch doctor they were taking this fucking kid to even said, no, bring your kid to a fucking hospital. Your kid is dying.
Yeah.
No, we're just going to feed him ginger root and fucking cow piss, and that should work.
But people have even taken it to a level. It's a staggering increase now of home births, accompanied by doulas. They call them doulas, and it's like guess it worked before. But do you guys also remember the fact that there was the death rate?
The death rate was insane.
I'm not going to judge a person for having a home birth. I would never fucking do that. If I had tried to have my son at home, we would both be dead.
Yeah,
because and tell them why, Jacqueline. Because he had a big head. When he was born.
Yeah, he was a 10 pound, 4 ounce baby, and his head was 14 centimeters around, and he only dilates 10 centimeters.
And people don't realize sometimes you don't even know that. Like in the Philippines, they give you an option: do you want to have a C-section or do you want to have a normal birth? But sometimes you don't even realize that the baby's head or what body part is too big.
No, the doctor knew he would be big.
Yeah,
but I mean, and he said, I always laughed when he said this. He said, "You have a small frame." I'm like, look at me, I'm built for having a baby, but apparently I'm not. And Yeah, I mean, I needed 3 blood transfusions. He got stuck in my pelvis. Without a C-section, we both would have died.
Yeah.
I definitely could not have had a home birth with him.
But
I want to be where the doctors are.
But see, but people are really starting to go this whole.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention.
Duchess Kate might have a home birth this time.
No, good for her. But that's not going to be me.
She's sick as hell and she's skinny as hell. She should be in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but home birth to me doesn't indicate like homeopathic. No. I mean, somebody of her stature and wealth, like she could afford to bring a shit ton of fucking doctors.
It'll be like a birthing suite in the house.
Exactly, right?
No, I don't believe that, but I just
fucking inflatable pool status and people.
Yeah, the fucking hippie shit where they fucking cook up the placenta afterwards.
Well, they've got oh my god, and there's been no proven benefit to eating your placenta. It's disgusting. You're a cannibal. But like, I mean, like people like this freaking what's her name, Gwyneth Paltrow and her goop. You know, like it's people like that are dumbing us down.
Infuriating. Yeah, it's infuriating.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that chick.
It's fucking like, put stickers on your arms and it'll fucking
or fuck
your body.
Tom Cruise with the whole exercise. You're a glib. You're a glib. You need to exercise. It's like what?
We're gonna talk about Scientology. We're probably all gonna get fucking squirreled by them, squirrel huntered.
Fuck Scientology. Fuck Davis Miscavige. Come sue me for the nothing I have, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Meet me in the streets. I'll fist fight you.
Actually, you can do that to Arthur. Don't do that to me. I'm a lady. I'm a Christian woman from the South Dakota, to be exact.
But we are going to definitely talk about Scientology one day. I think that's going to be an awesome show.
You know, but homeopathic stuff, I mean, you know what? If it works for you, great. It just doesn't work for me. Give me my antibiotics, bitch. Bye.
Well,
like I said, I have no problem if somebody wants to have a home birth. It just would never have been for me.
It's not for me.
Fact is like homeopathic stuff, again, it worked, but I mean, we haven't spent hundreds of years getting to the state we are now within medicine to revert back to fucking boiling roots.
Yeah, well, and there's some validity to these things. Absolutely.
Like there really is.
I mean, look, we're talking about using medical marijuana. I mean, clearly there's benefits to it, but medical marijuana doesn't cure cancer.
No.
Right? It's not going to cure your HIV. It doesn't even cure herpes. Like, so, I mean, there's benefits to it, of course, but it's not a cure. It's relief.
Yeah, I don't know.
You made me laugh. Sorry.
To me, it's just so redundant. And, I mean, again, I just kind of peg it on people just being internet fucking doctors.
Not even just that, but
like
really
sensationalized articles worded in a way that it appeals to their fucking just stupid understanding of how shit fucking works. And then boom, they're on it. Like anyone, the anti-vaxxer thing. Anyone that read anything Jenny fucking dumbass McCarthy fucking wrote was like, oh my god, no, this is a brilliant woman. I fuck you, you're dumb. Like,
but it's not fair for them to put their stupidity onto their children and cause their children to get killed.
No,
this is why I have no problem with these people getting arrested that refuse medical care for their children and stuff like that.
No, that's child abuse.
Don't do that to your kids.
You know, if you want to be a hippie and you want to do dumb hippie shit, fine, by all means, go for it. You're an adult, it's your fucking body.
And you've been vaccinated because your parents vaccinated you.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say vaccines are bad when you have them.
My friend actually, she said, I don't necessarily believe in a friend of mine. I don't necessarily believe in vaccines. She said, but I'm not. She was like, I would rather have my child be vaccinated than not vaccinated. She was like, do you know that mumps can kill you? I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
But whooping cough. She
was like, like if you don't want to give your kid the flu vaccine, I get it. Right.
That's a little different, yeah.
But do you want your kid to get polio? Do you want them to get whooping cough? Or do you want to spread that to an innocent baby that's not old enough to get the vaccine yet?
To make a decision for themselves. That's why you are a parent, because you are made to make that decision. It's like those fucking crazy parents who were just sentenced to probation, or the YouTube parents. Did you guys read that article?
Yes.
My God, like people are fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, what they did to those kids was psychological torture, and I'm glad they fucking got. They should have got more.
They should have gone to jail. Yeah.
But, let's move on. We talked about AI technology last week. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So now this is coming from I fucking love science, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently I want to see which college it was. Stanford made an AI that does facial recognition. And with a percentage of 81% in men and 74% in women, it correctly identified who was gay and who was straight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary in places. I mean, you're talking about places where if you're gay, you can be killed.
You can get killed legally somewhere like Uganda.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
looks what's happening in Chechnya, right? Yep. This is scary. And oh my God, what if you're one of the, the 34% that got identified wrong?
Yeah, really though.
Like, what the hell? It's scary.
Very scary.
What point do we control our AIs? And what point do we control any kind of software that it can do something like that? Why do we need that? Why do we need software that can tell someone is gay or straight?
Yeah, that makes zero sense.
And that's coming from Stanford. I mean, it's not like it's coming from the heart of some Russian university. This is coming from Stanford.
Yeah.
But this is also the point that I made. Remember, again, going back to that whole X-Men thing, because I love X-Men. When they were able to identify who was a carrier of that gene, what's stopping technology from being able to identify who's a carrier of, let's say, let's just call it that. If there is such a thing, which it's not, the carrier of the gay gene or the carrier of the black gene or the sickle cell gene. And it's like, oh my God, are we going to start to, kill these people just because they are a carrier of something?
Well, to what point does it become like
too much?
What else are they predicting? Oh, we can predict you're going to be a pedophile.
Exactly. Or we're going to predict
you're a murderer.
Yes. And it's like, my God, like, I love technology. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to the new iPhone, but
oh, Jesus Christ.
But I don't, I just wanted to get it out there. But I don't need you to be able to identify that I'm a, God, I'm going to get very graphic here, that I suck penis. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need you to tell me that. I know that every day of my fucking life.
Yeah. It has to confirm it, Ryan. It's not confirmed until the AI says it's true.
It's true enough to like, what is even the purpose of this?
Yeah.
What is even the purpose of having an AI that can tell someone's sexual orientation by facial recognition?
But I do want that specifically for Jacqueline, so I can finally confirm is a carpet-munching lesbian.
Like, I just don't see it.
It just goes to say that gay face is a real thing.
I guess. But even that, though, isn't that kind of, like, ignorant?
It is.
It totally
to say, like, gay people have a certain look?
Yeah.
That's the thing, they don't. Because, I mean, gay people run the gamut. You've got your lipstick lesbians, you've got your butch ones, you've got twinks, you've got bears. I mean, everybody looks different.
You've got
just like every other human fucking being.
Exactly.
It's just so dumb. It makes zero sense. I don't see any kind of real world application for this except for fucking hate-filled regimes that want to use that to fucking start hurling people off fucking building tops.
Exactly.
Because now that it's been built, who's stopping people from hacking the system and recreating it and using it in Cameroon?
Well, there you go.
Exactly, because they're like, now someone in Chechnya is like, oh, this is a great idea. You scientists, get on that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm actually kind of upset there's not a lot of people talking about what's going on in Chechnya right now with their concentration camps and shit like that. It's fairly fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It's gross. And there's not a lot of talk about it. You're right. No. I mean, we just, how many was it? 31? Basically smuggled into Canada.
Yeah.
Gay Chechens were smuggled in here so that they could have a safe life to live.
Yeah.
But that's just a pinprick of people that are, now safe. That all those other people are still in danger.
Yeah, no,
because Chechnya was that like the whole thing with Russia, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, they were a Russian place now. That's I don't know if it's not a full country of its own, right? I don't think so. But it's got it doesn't like Muslims, it doesn't like people of color, and it certainly does not like gay people.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I think I'm a woman.
The last thing I heard was in these concentration camps, because let's call them what they are. They are fucking concentration camps. It was estimated around 100 to 200 people have been rounded up now, and they are now. We don't know what's going on.
But we don't know what's going to happen either. Yeah.
Exactly right, but we know that they are in these concentration camps for gay people.
It's only a simple step. The next step will be to kill them. Because that's what's going to happen.
Mass euthanization.
Are they going to try to cure them?
Right.
stuff makes me so angry.
I don't know. As what's his name? Has Mike Pence made his way to Chechnya yet? Is he gonna?
Oh frick!
Pray
Pence's
the gay
number
away.
one trading partner. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. This one makes me laugh because I remember when this one happened. This story. So do you guys remember when the monkey took the selfie of itself? It took the guy's camera and it took a selfie, and PETA then took the photographer to court saying that monkey took the picture and he should have the copyright and his rights to his own selfie.
What the fuck?
Okay. Yeah.
So they finally came to a deal over this lawsuit. They agreed that the photographer will give 25% of any revenue he gets from that image to
any kind of revenue.
Well, no, to protect that type of monkey in Indonesia. It's a macaque. But if I take your cell phone, Arthur, and I take a selfie, that's yours.
Yeah.
It's on your phone. Exactly. It's yours. What the hell, PETA? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
But PETA is crazy. All of a sudden, they're going to find a reason why bricks should be protected because, you know, fucking tigers lick bricks or some shit like that. It's
PETA's ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy.
I got into a huge argument with this. I don't know. She wasn't a supporter. She kept saying that she worked for PETA, which again I don't understand how since it's nonprofit, but whatever. And she was telling me that I am a terrible pet owner because my carnivorous cat doesn't eat a vegan diet, and I want to strangle this chick to fucking death. And I kept saying to her, "Show me a lion that eats berries, you stupid bitch."
Yeah,
it's a fucking cat. It eats meat. I fucking hate PETA. They
if it was in the wild, they'd be eating mice and birds.
Right?
Like, come on.
And this whole fucking thing is so dumb. Like, the monkey's rights? The monkey's not entitled to human rights, people. It's a fucking monkey. It has no fucking claim over a picture. It's a fucking monkey.
No. You guys know I'm an animal lover. I don't like animals in marinas or marine parks. I don't like zoos. But I don't support PETA because they're A, insane, and B, ridiculous.
Insane.
And
what the fuck? You fought for the rights of a monkey to have revenue. What is that monkey gonna do with the money? Eat it? Like, come on.
Right?
It's gonna get a pimped out crib. It's gonna get a big, crown on its head because it's the king of the monkeys now.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? All the bananas it can eat.
It's the stupidest thing in the world. This is the problem when you let crazy groups like this, and this is a left group, right? Fucking run a cause, and it's like, really? Like, I'll understand the Save the Whale Foundation. Like, you're trying to save the fucking whales. But really, a monkey?
Do you remember how they got mad at Obama for killing the fly? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's a kabillion, I don't even know a number, of flies on this earth. Him killing that one fly is not going to hurt.
Like,
okay,
but they get mad over everything.
I know.
They get mad over everything.
You know, in their infancy, I'm sure they were a very great organization.
Yeah.
But once the whole veganism shit fucking kind of started creeping into their shit, they went complete batshit fucking crazy. And I have no qualms with calling these people crazy. They are completely.
That's what happens when you don't eat meat.
Exactly. You're batshit fucking crazy. Like, you guys need some iron in your fucking diet. Like, I don't know. Like, you guys are fucked in your heads.
I had a coworker once who is a vegan, and I was eating a burger quietly and was like, ew. And I said to her, excuse me, I don't tell you that your shit smells like fucking shit.
Yeah, really, though.
And she was so offended, and she told the boss, and the boss was like, but why would you say ew?
Right?
Like, what's wrong with you? Like,
you're in the real world, and the real world eats meat.
Yeah.
Fucking right.
So shut the fuck up. If you don't want to eat it, good for you. Eat your fucking bean sprouts and your fucking veggie food. I'm not going to judge you for that. I'll silently judge you.
Yeah, exactly.
Silently, I'll do it.
But I like this Whirlwind Raccoon in the chat is saying her friend went to a PETA event and they snubbed her for having non-vegan clothing. Fuck off.
Yeah, what the fuck is vegan clothing?
I guess just made from like hemp or something. I have no clue.
A couple of leaves.
Oh yeah,
a couple of leaves and like I don't know your own human hair to fucking bind it together. Crazy.
You know how itchy
bastards.
that shit is? Like, in the Philippines, the traditional wear is called barong Tagalog, right? It's this garb that's worn for formal events. It's made out of pineapple leaves. You know how itchy that shit is?
Oh, I can imagine.
Kiss my pussy. That's
I've had a beef with these idiots for a long time. You know, the fact that they support kill shelters.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like, I understand that yes, there is a problem with people getting dogs that they can't control, and the dogs end up in shelters and become a burden, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But to sit there, and again, another argument I had, because I do love arguing with these idiots, I own a purebred Rottweiler. Now, I am a completely horrible human being because my dog is purebred, meaning that, you know, there's now a supply that doesn't meet the demand or whatever the fuck this bitch is trying to say to me.
What?
I don't know. I take a huge beef with these idiots. Yeah, they're dumb. They're
stupid. She basically tried to say you got it off like one of those.
Yeah, that I went out and got it off like a forced breeder or some shit like that. And I said, no, I essentially rescued this fucking dog. This dog was bought by a person that had no idea how to handle a dog of this power, this mentality. Yeah. I took the dog from that person. Oh, well, that dog should still be put down.
Bitch, I'll put you down.
And then you should go to the shelter and adopt a mutt. Well, okay. Yeah, I can.
That's wonderful. There's wonderful mutts in the world, but
I have no qualms with mutts. Yeah. None whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I remember you wanted to take one of the puppies off my dog if she had puppies, and she's a mutt.
Absolutely. It doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Yeah.
I took my dog.
Puppies?
No, she didn't. We were thinking about having puppies for my little one.
Yeah, I took my dog solely for the fact that I didn't want to see her go to somebody that would force breed her, that would treat the dog in a bad manner, but that made me a terrible fucking person to these stupid fucking hippies.
Too judgy.
They're too judgy. They're very judgy people. That's why I don't deal with them. And it's like, because I had a purebred Frenchie that was bought, and they're like, oh God, I'd rather why didn't you just adopt? And it's like, shut the fuck up, because I wanted a cute, pudgy little thing walking around.
Well, let's face it, when you go to, I don't know about in America. In Canada, when you go to the shelter, there's not a lot of variety. It's mostly pit bulls.
Yeah. Well,
and there's not even that many. Like, really, we went to adopt a dog at the Humane Society first, before we got our dog Clover. And they had one dog at the one we went to, and it was a little mixed breed. And when I went to put in my application, she said there's already been 75 applications.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it, right? So I'm like, forget it. And then we were going to go down to the downtown one, but apparently they only had like 3 or 4 pit bull breeds there, and I didn't want one. So I'm like, you know, I got my dog, and she wasn't a breeder. My dog's not purebred. It's just her dog got knocked up by another dog. Yeah. Right?
One thing I do find comical, and I wrote a Facebook stats about this before, you know, I got banned.
Fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, fuck you, Zuckerberg. Why is it that PETA and these fucking hippies are so quick to attack people that wear fur but not leather?
Yeah.
Because it's easier to attack a rich white woman, a frail white woman, than it is biker gangs. They don't want to fight anyone where they know they will face backlash, because their skinny little fucking vegan bodies cannot handle any type of fucking violence. So they go attack these rich white women that are just going to, you know, gasp and fucking awe, rather than some fucking leather-clad biker that's going to pound their fucking face into the pavement.
Ridiculous. Look, I don't like leather. I don't like fur. Sorry. I think if you want to wear the skin of an animal, you should eat that animal. But do I go out and tell people not to wear a fur coat? Do I throw paint on them? No, absolutely not. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not going to judge people. My stepfather-in-law goes out and he hunts. He eats the animals he kills. I don't care. Hunt, fine. That's wonderful. Don't use a semi-automatic weapon to hunt. That's all I care about.
Exactly. That's your choice to do that. It's like people want to control every aspect of what you do, and it's like you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't care. No. Yes, the hood of my coat has coyote fur. No, I didn't eat it. I'm okay. Did you die? Did it affect your life?
Well, that's it, though.
Ryan, that coyote was anally electrocuted for you to wear that coat.
Only their truth can be the truth. and it's true to everything nowadays. Only everyone else's truth is better than your truth. It's because it's theirs, right? And I mean, you look at it, it's like that in politics. It's like that with fucking everything.
Everything.
You know, you can't, it goes against the way that I look at how life should be here, where we all have the right to choose regardless, as long as you're not fucking hurting another human being. Because let's face it, I don't really give 2 shits about fucking animals. They're not humans. They're not covered by human rights. I don't really give them.
I love the animals.
I know, and you can love them all you want. You know what I mean? I understand not killing endangered species. There's no reason to kill whales. There's no reason to, you know,
kill a tiger. Yeah.
Tigers, no, they're endangered. But at the same point in time, I do support some predator hunts. I do.
Well, you have to cull. Sometimes you do have to cull.
It's, you know, I seen this the other day that there's a place in the U.S. that's just opened up hunting hibernating bears because the bear population has become a fucking nuisance. Like, it's actually a real big problem where these grizzly bears, you know, they're getting into fucking residential areas and shit.
Coming to people's homes.
Right? So they opened it up. There's a few fucking tags for hunting hibernating bears. And the fucking outcry of these stupid fucking hippies, you know, it's just like, no. You don't understand. Like, you want your Starbucks. You want to be able to go to your Starbucks so you can get on the internet and proclaim how fucking righteous you are. But if this grizzly bear came in that Starbucks and clawed your fucking ass up, you'd be asking, hey, who the fuck's taking care of this grizzly bear?
Yeah. Also, my friends are always shocked when I say support the seal hunt.
Yeah, straight up.
Because you need to call those numbers, because otherwise they eat all your fish. You want to eat your fish sandwich?
Yeah.
Right?
And like, it's unfortunate because that part of our country, especially, they rely heavily on our fishery.
Now, I don't agree with abusing them, prolonging their death. Please make their death as quick as possible.
Yeah, don't torture
Stop
the
using
fucking
the baby seals, because they don't kill the baby seals. Like, that stuff, it drives me crazy, the fake propaganda that they use. They haven't killed the baby seals since the freaking early 80s.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just so dumb. I hate hippies. You know, there's this picture I seen years ago, and it still cracks me up to this day. So it was somewhere in Oregon where a bunch of these dumb fucking hippies showed up to an oil derrick in plastic fucking kayaks to protest oil. And I'm like, where the fuck do you think the plastic came from, you stupid fuck? You think they fucking grow plastic? No, it comes from fucking oil, you dumbass.
They should have hollowed out a tree, but then they killed a tree.
Yeah, so. Right? You showed up in these big fucking tour buses that run on diesel fuel to get in your plastic fucking kayak to go protest oil. Like, just fuck off. Just go live in the woods.
Don't forget they got on their cell phones to organize
take the fucking pictures and fucking get on Instagram and be like, hey, look how righteous I am. Fucking protesting oil, man. No, you're stupid. You're a dumbass hippie. Fuck off. Go live in the fucking desert and fucking eat twigs. I don't give a shit. Fuck out of here. Fuck, I hate hippies.
Yeah, you know what? They've gone insane, the hippies.
Oh my
God. From just being, I don't know.
Peace and love and fucking, you know, actually having some cool ideas about life and communal living and shit like that, to just this crazy fucking rhetoric. Like, absolutely.
Well, and it's like, they almost like they're fascists in their beliefs.
Oh, they
they're trying
absolutely
to force on you. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. And that's actually the perfect way to describe it, is they are fascist with their beliefs, because it's their way or the highway. And if you do not toe that line, then you are this giant piece of shit. And as a lot of them are concerned, you now don't have the right to live.
Well, I'm not crying. You know what? I know that it's not good to eat red meat. I know it's not good for my body. I know it's bad for the planet, but I ain't crying no tears when I eat a hamburger or steak. Sorry.
Fuck no.
I'm eating it.
Yeah,
sorry, Earth.
Yeah.
I'll recycle and I'll try to, you know, lower my footprint other ways, but it won't be through beef.
No, hell no. Steak's too damn good.
Yeah. Have a nice roast tenderloin. Fuck that.
Fuck that shit. You're not fucking with my fucking Sunday dinner, you bastards. Fuck out of here.
Exactly.
You know, like when I came home from Iceland and I told some people that I ate whale. Oh my God, the fucking bullshit I heard about that. And it's like, I don't care. Like, fuck that whale. I owe that whale.
Well, you didn't kill that whale personally. It was already dead anyway.
Exactly. Fuck that shit. They're serving it up. Fucking throw that on my plate, man. Watching me up
the thing about those Icelandic people is they kill a lot of whales they're not supposed to, which is kind of upsetting to me. But, you know.
From what I heard when I was there.
International waters, they're not supposed to kill them, and they go in there.
Because I did ask about that shit, because obviously I didn't want to, you know, be eating fucking essentially blood meat.
Yeah.
And they said, like, it's rare that they actually kill the whales now. The Icelandic people don't really eat them anymore. It's more for the tourists.
Okay.
And I was like, fuck, cool. I don't give a shit. Like, fucking fry me up some whale, man. Like, I'm here. Let's get this shit done.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you said you ate the horse meat too.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, horse. So they can't really keep cattle alive up there, but they bred this type of horse that thrives in their climate, right? So horse and lamb meat is their main source of red meat. Mm-hmm. I had no beef with it whatsoever.
I love horses, but that's meat, right?
Yeah,
I don't even really judge people for eating dog over in those Asian countries, and people get mad.
I would,
as long as the animal's not tortured.
Yeah.
It's meat.
Oh, yeah, no, if I got the chance to go to that fucking dog meat festival, you're damn straight I would eat dog.
Eat meat or cat, but that's because I'm super picky. I don't eat a lot of food, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I gerbils, I wouldn't eat hamsters, but that's food for people. Rats, people eat rats in some countries. Whatever. eat it. It's meat. I don't care. Just don't torture the animals you're killing. That's my thing.
A couple of friends of mine went to Peru not that long ago, and they ate fucking guinea pig.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's people that eat all kinds of animals that were like, what? But
fuck that shit. I'm eating it all.
Yeah, it's meat.
You know, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. So that's the end of the show. I think I'll be back on Sunday with Justin now that the hurricane's gone, having our TV attack version of the show. And we'll be back with Arthur and Ryan on Monday, as usual. Have a good week. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, take care.
Bye, Arthur. And Ryan says bye, too.